Welcome to Truth, Love, Healing. This is Kevin, and this is my channel where I like to share different insights, different tips and tactics that have come up along the spiritual path and the experience of this consciousness. And I like to share because the path could be treacherous, the path could be confusing. So I like to share what has been experienced. And I'm not here to teach you, I'm not here to indoctrinate you, unless you want to join my cult and send me money. Then it's all good. But my only prayer is that some of this is helpful. All of this is helpful. And if you do find any of it helpful, please like, share, subscribe. Today, I feel compelled. I feel motivated to make a video about something. It's a lesson that my teacher gave me in his work. And I've been finding it popping up again and again on my path. And that is learn to honor what other people hold sacred. Not always easy, is it? It's the vanity within all of us of I know that my way is the best way that leads us to not really consider the sensitivities and the ways of others as being valid. You know, especially in today's politically charged climate and the way things just are, it's easy to get into a position about I'm right, you're wrong, you're dumb, I'm stupid, and all of that whole program. To honor what other people hold sacred is really the highest form of love. You're not trying to teach them and trying to lure them into your way, because that is arrogance, that is vanity. Everyone is where they are on the path perfectly as God set them up to be. You may not share that perspective. It may not align with your heart, and that's okay too. But you should always be aware, be cognizant, be respectful that that is where they are. And for some of us, like myself, very outspoken, very unfiltered. Sometimes that could be very off-putting. And I like to think I know everything. So when I see people that I see as what I would see as error, I feel the need to correct. I feel the need to stand up to it. You know, within the psyche, there's many archetypes or archetypes. I don't know how the correct pronunciation, doesn't matter. But many archetypes, as Carl Jung said. And one of those is the spiritual knight. You know, the spiritual knight is what stands for truth, maybe a little aggressively. And there is a time and a place for that, for sure. However, always be mindful. Be aware of your own limitations. And also be aware that God is with them too, guiding them on their path. We don't know how people's paths unfold, so what may seem like a disastrous path for some may actually be the road to their salvation. You know, we always try to save people, you know, trying to share the our truth, how we see it with them, to hopefully influence them and bring them into our way. Well, maybe our way isn't the way for them. Maybe it's not even the way for you and you don't know it yet. And that's the humility. Follow your heart to the best of your ability, but let others follow theirs. You know, in today's climate, especially with the politics and the political positionality, it's easy to get really worked up about that, stand up against it. When you're a free-flowing guy like myself and you see people who have maybe a little bit more sensitivities, there could be a proclivity to poke the bear, you know, to ruffle them, to, you know, bring them into your way of like, hey, don't be so sensitive. That's also very callous. You know, for the outspoken person, there's a particular saying that if you know outspoken people or you are an outspoken person, you probably said or you probably heard, which is, well, you always know how you stand with me, which is the justification for being unfiltered and, you know, shooting from the hip. And actually, with humility and time and wisdom, that's actually an excuse for being insensitive to where other people are. And it's not always easy. Trust me, I'm still doing it every day. But wisdom is to keep your own counsel. Don't say things that don't need to be said. You know, there was a really great teaching is before you speak anything, let it pass through the triple filter, the three gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If it's not, then why are you saying it? Why are you saying it? It's not serving anything. It needs to pass through all three. Maybe it's true, maybe it's kind, but it's not necessary. Sometimes silence, many times, all the time, silence could speak much louder than any words can. But we have this compulsion to speak our minds. It's a prideful thing, an arrogant thing. And silence, let other people be. And when you are aligned to be outspoken, to push buttons, to, hold your own way as worthy of everyone being in tune with, what you can do is make enemies. You would turn people off to you. And then what? Then your own energy, if it is so holy and righteous, will not be accepted or embraced by these people because you've turned them off. You've pissed them off with your way. So wisdom is to let people live. Live and let live. They may be wrong. Everyone has the right to be wrong. Don't forget that one. So honor what they hold sacred. They're worshiping what they look at as divine, what they look at as truth to the best of their ability. So don't judge it, because that's judgment. And judgment is mine, saith the Lord. So let them walk their path. And if you find yourself in a situation where people are aligned a certain way, another teaching and saying of the old times is when in Rome. When you're around a certain situation, when you're around certain company, acclimate yourself. Again, doesn't mean you're selling out, doesn't mean you're indoctrinating yourself to another way, but it's about honor, it's about respect, it's about integrity, it's about love. So a lot of people, especially in politics and traditional religion, look at the other side and say, I'm right, you're wrong. My religion's true, yours is false. My political positions are righteous, yours are evil. That's a big, big error based in arrogance and based in extremely self-absorbed, limited perception. So if you could practice humility, you will learn to get away from that. Positionality. Every position is idolatry in the face of truth. No position is true. There's only the truth. There's only God. That might be a little abstract, but be mindful of the positions you hold. As positions, it's one thing to have discernment. It's one thing to see things a certain way and live that truth. It's another one to take it as a position. Positions need to be defended. Positions need to be justified. Positions lead to conflict. So if you're really about this life of spiritual evolution, find that center where you're not imposing yourself, you're not disparaging other people's beliefs and points of view. Be that light. Be that change. Be that radiance that infects people through osmosis. There's in the spiritual world and politics, everything, there's the lapel grabbing, the see it how I see it. And what that really does is it births a resistance to it. It's much more powerful to be the power, to radiate it out. You don't have to force people. If you do, force begets a counterforce. Christ said, resist not evil. So when you see things are evil, quote unquote wrong, quote unquote different, to be resistant to it, to try to force it or manipulate it to another way is very ineffective. Power always wins over force. Years ago, Mother Teresa, she was, there's always some war going on, and people asked her, they said, why aren't you at these anti-war protests? And she said, one of the greatest responses ever, she said, I'm not anti-war, I'm pro-peace. That is a statement of power. So can you do that? Do you want to do that? Do you hold your beliefs as so sacred, your positions as so sacred, that you're going to, create a friggin' warpath to be right? That sounds like righteousness. Righteousness is very dangerous, can be very dangerous. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. So honor what other people hold sacred. Don't say anything if it can't pass through the gates of is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Get off your high horse. Be aware of other people's, the other people's paths are not directed by you. They don't need you. If you really believe they do, pray about it. Do it in silence. You don't get in their face. So anyway, hope this is helpful. Quick little blurb, lesson that's come up within. So I felt like sharing it, and I hope you guys found a little bit of value. So until next time, if you like it, like, share, subscribe. If you don't, it doesn't matter what you like. Just kidding. But yes, God bless you. God bless America. God bless the world. Until next time, peace, chicken grease, truth, love, healing.